Hey everyone, welcome to another wrap-up video. This one's on a kit I finished quite a while back now, but never got around to showing properly, certainly not here on YouTube. So I thought I'd take a few minutes and show you it now. Now, before we start, somebody mentioned in my last video that I sounded a bit quiet, and I think that wasn't necessarily my camera. I was actually talking quite quietly. I live in a house with my parents and my girlfriend, and basically if they see me sitting chatting to a camera, they laugh at me, and it's not that I'm ashamed, but it's just easier if I do it when they're either not around or whatever. And anyway, so I just I was talking a little bit quietly. So sorry for that. I'll try and be a bit louder this time. So hopefully you can hear me. The camera does sit 2-3 feet away, so hopefully you can hear me. Excuse the iPad sitting behind the model. What I'm trying this time is kind of like a close cam. So I've got the model sitting in front of the iPad, I can move it around. What I'm going to try and do is edit the video such that maybe this kind of feed here will overlap this one slightly, or I can switch between the two when I'm talking and have overlapping feed and somehow show you, because this camera, because I have to use the front camera on my iPhone to film so I can see what I'm doing, it doesn't zoom in or anything. So if I use the main camera on my iPad, sitting here, but this is the only way I can see that it's what it's filming. So not the best setup, but we'll see. It might result in a slightly better video for you guys, so we'll see. Anyway, so this is kind of another, what I would term, a wrap-up video. I don't really like the term reveal because I like to talk about it a little bit, and sometimes people just see reveal and don't bother looking at it. It's just going to be a bunch of pictures. I will put pictures at the end anyway, just in case none of this works very well. So anyway, what we've got is Meng's T-90A. I think it's the A one. Not the one that came with the dozer blade. Kind of wanted that one. Couldn't. This one came up a bit cheaper, so I went for this. Lovely kit to build. I'm trying to remember if I had any fit issues anywhere. Don't think so. Like the other Meng kits I've built. Superb detail. I believe the detail is different in some ways than it is on the Trumpeter kit, which is its kind of main competitor. But I had no issues, and it was quite an enjoyable build. The tracks were really good. If I remember rightly, these ones just, did they click together? I think they just clicked together, if I remember rightly. So so they were good. The only thing I did find is that I found that when you put the torsion bars in the place they're meant to, they all sit a bit too into their travel, if that makes sense, as in the whole thing's a bit squat, and they weren't even on each side. So I ended up having to actually cut the torsion bars and effectively glue the actual arms on. And actually, I won't really show it because if you look at it directly from the front, it does sit very slightly lopsided because I didn't quite get it right, but at least down each side it was even, because otherwise there was wheels, like it was cocked in its leg kind of thing. It was painted with Vallejo paints, Russian green, sand I think, and black. I ended up kind of hand painting some of the black edges just to sharpen them up a little bit. Overall I'm pretty pleased with it. I went relatively light on the things like chipping and stuff like that, although it's a Russian tank. They are modern vehicles, and most of these are, I assume they're quite well looked after and they're not rusty and stuff. And they do go for overhaul and stuff quite every now and again, so they all get kind of cleaned back up that way, because I think some of the T-90 hulls are actually previous T-72 hulls and stuff that have been redone, because ultimately that's kind of really what they are, is upgraded T-72s. Kit had some nice photo etch in it for a little bit. It's quite a bit on the gun actually, if I remember rightly. And yeah, so weather with some washes, and mainly had like a bit of a dust kind of pigment wash all over it. Give it this kind of dusty look with some dust and stuff. It's maybe a bit overdone in some places. Maybe the dust splatters on the wheels. I'll show you here. It's maybe not that realistic, but I quite like it. It looks okay. So we'll take you a quick look round. Maybe showing you this close is not a good idea. Show up all the various flaws that there might be. Sorry, I've got paint sitting on my desk there, knocking them over. But yeah, nice kit. This light's not really very good. But we're getting there. We're showing you something. The little infrared anti-missile things move. Nah, bit of a gimmick. The hatches do actually open. You do get you get a semblance of interior. You just get a couple of kind of control panel things, so when you look down into the turret there's something there, but not much. And I've just bent the aerial. A couple of convoy lights and stuff here. So yeah, overall a nice build. It was enjoyable. It was a bit of a pain to paint because put the sand on first and kind of went on a bit thick. I tried one of the Migs. I bought Migs modern Russian set, and I know people go on and on about them. How yes, if you use this then and that's fine, that might work. But for me, I've tried it and it doesn't work. So again, like I did the other day, I had issues with the Eurofighter I was painting. Same thing. No, so I'll not use those paints again. So I ended up just buying some Vallejo equivalents because the colours may be slightly off. I'll agree, the colours on the Mig ones are great, but the quality's not there. I'm not paying money for stuff that I can't use. So the colours might be slightly off on the Vallejo colours, but I know that the paints are consistent. And at least with the RB, I've never had trouble. So that's what I used. Yeah, so that's that. I will stick some pictures at the end. If I can't get this whole 2-camera thing to work, then fair enough. But yeah, we'll see. See you in the next one. Bye for now.